Testing. By the way, I got a question for the American subscriber. Do you guys who collect weapons, weapon collectors, do you like have a new gun coming out like every year, and you're like, oh my god, the new AR is coming? What the hell? I'm sorry about that. I need to find it. Okay, I found it. So what I'm asking, you know, like if you're a video game collector, it's like, oh, it's a new buff. There's a new Assassin's Creed. There's a new Call of Duty. Is it the same with guns? It's like, it's the new AR coming out, the new Colt, the new Uzi, or whatever the fuck. Do you get like the AK-48 coming out? Is that a thing? Like, does it happen? I legitimately wonder, because in my country we can't buy guns. But I'm curious, like, are there gun enthusiasts that line up to the gun store? Like, you have people lining up to Apple, and it's like, it's the new iPhone coming out, right? And everyone is lining up. Guns too expensive for that? Really? I have no idea how much a gun costs, by the way. The New York law restricting online speech goes into effect today. I have no idea what that is. Apparently, Billy O'Dell says that it's true, right? So do you get like a different ammunition as well, like upgrades and shit? Like, is that how it works? Like, oh, there's a new upgrade for my gun. It's like the laser pointer, but now this one is even more lasery. I have no idea what gun attachments are. I have no clue. Like, I play video games. I know you get like a sight. You get like the laser pointer. You get like oh, the bomb stock. I know about the bomb stock because they talk about it on the media all the fucking time. It's like that's the problem. You get rid of the bomb stocks, and all of a sudden the shootings go down. So is it like that? Is there like new gun technology that comes on? And hello, Billy. Well, you need to detail, Billy. You need to go into a little bit more explanation. Then it's like, oh yes, that is a thing. It's like, no, you need to tell me what exactly is taking place there. Like, how is like the new gun better than the gun from the previous year? Oh, it's like horse armor. Now I get it. See, I had what is a bad explain it to me in gamer terms, and now I understand. Visit Tim Pool. He will let you shoot all the guns. I would rather go to Tim Pool's master. You know, like, Tim Pool is the Jedi, but I would rather go to the Jedi Master. I would go to Crowder. Like, Crowder is the one that got Tim Pool into weapons. And I would have to go to Crowder. Let me get a full-size keeper. AR-15 is between 500 and 2,000. Dude, that's not that expensive. I expected a lot more. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, but like, you make one purchase, right? Like, if you need a gun, you need a gun. Like, it's not as expensive as a car. It's not as expensive. I mean, there's a lot more things that are expensive. Like, a graphics card for a computer can be more expensive than a gun. Right? Like, a pair of high-tech speakers can be more expensive. It's not that. Like, I was expecting it's like 10,000 or some shit. I mean, yeah, sure, you know, it is a little bit pricey, but I wouldn't say it's like something that most people can't afford. I guess it kind of makes sense, considering the fact that people from the rural area have guns, you know, like people that aren't that rich outside of California, yeah, like they get guns, so I suppose like if you're a crazy person and you just buy guns after guns after guns, then you might actually end up spending quite a bit. You need at least 12 guns? Oh, I see. That's how it works. Do you shoot them all at the same time, though? Is that a thing? Like, and by the way, like if you buy different guns, like why do they have to be different models? Like why can't you buy like 12 ARs? Like you need to buy like 12 guns. Like one is a Colt, one is an AR, another is a Magnum. Like, is that how it works? Guns hold value better than some things. I think like bullets hold a lot of value. Like bullets are probably the best because like you can just stock them. You know, they're never going to get banned. Like, with a gun, you can't get into trouble of being banned, right? So, with bullets, that doesn't happen. And you can just stack them somewhere, and then, when you need to make money, you just sell them. Like, I think bullets are a lot better if you wanna, like, invest into something that guarantees you're going to get past the, inflation. Is there a gun called Beowulf? That is so fucking interesting. What the fuck is a Beowulf gun? Hold on, I'm going to check to see what the Beowulf is. It sounds fucking badass. It sounds badass, but it sounds from a country that doesn't make guns. Let me check. Holy fucking shit. Oh, now I can see CNN spurging out. Like, I'm looking at this, and I see Don Lemon sparking out. Like, it's just like, the picture itself. The picture itself, like, I can see people from CNN going like, you know, like, in the hands of the FBI, this is a tool to stop terror. In the hands of a citizen, this is a weapon of death, of war. Only the FBI can have it, and the CIA, and the police force, and the people defending the World Economic Forum. My God, did you see the people at Davos? Like, speaking of guns, hold on. Let me show you something. Davos security detail. Like, look at this shit, right? Like, they keep asking you, like, why do cities require a weapon of war? Look at this. This is Davos, right? This is in Europe, where... Okay, well, fine. Like in Europe, in Switzerland, I believe, you can have guns. But, like, look at this shit. What the fuck are they good? Like, what is this? I know what this is. This is from Counter-Strike. Is the 5-1 weapon. See, this is how I speak. It's like when you press B to buy weapons in Counter-Strike, you press 5 on your keyboard. It's heavy machine gun. Then you press 1 and you get this weapon. This is like to stop a zombie apocalypse or something. Like, I genuinely do not understand the circumstance where you would need to lay down suppression fire to protect the people at Davos. Like how many invaders are you planning? Like, are the aliens going to come? Like, are the aliens going to attack, and you need to have this weapon in order to keep them at bay? Like, they unleash the T virus, and now you have the hordes of zombies coming in, and then you have, like, look, they need the scope. Hold on, not this one. They have a sniper rifle as well. To zoom in, to zoom in on the action. Look at this shit. To zoom in on the fucking action. Why do they have these? Right? No one asks. It's perfectly fine. Working as intended. I see. Naruhodo intensifies. Sargon fired the 50 cal. I remember that. His belly jiggled. Like, he went with Alex Jones and he fired the 50 cal. His belly jiggled. He kind of liked it. Not quite a light out of the door, but it's kind of like that. I have gone to several different cities to look for things. Oh. Billy is on a path to search. What are you questing for? It's like, he's not questing for the Holy Grail. He's questing for the Holy AR. So anyway, is to counter the pleb trying to invade and steal all of those bag rations. Man, like, how many plebs are going to invade if you need that level of weaponry? Like, why not just get a tank at that point? Just get a fucking tank. In California now, they are authorizing robots to kill. I mean, holy shit. That is so interesting. I assume it's like one of those robot dog drones. And you see Fido, like, going in, and then it goes kasplat. Maybe it's like that. Look at the Beowulf bullets. I don't want to. Like, I already have CNN anchor Spergig in my mind. I don't want to see the bullets. What was it? Like, there was a CNN anchor. Oh my God, like, CNN says the craziest things, which kind of tells you a lot about their target audience, right? Like, who would watch that garbage? Like, they were suggesting at one point that the assault rifles are more dangerous than a handgun, because with a handgun you can dodge the bullets. I don't know how they phrased it exactly. It was like within that realm of logic. It's like the AR bullets are faster or some shit. And I was thinking, like, bruh. Bruh. I mean, look, I don't think it matters. Like, maybe it's true. I don't know, like, the velocity of a handgun and the velocity of a sniper rifle, but I'm pretty sure it makes no difference. I'm pretty convinced that like, see, Billy O'Dell is taken aback. He doesn't watch CNN. The rest of the people in my chat, they watch CNN, so they actually know about these spurgeries, but there was another one. I love the general. Like, they brought an army general, and it talks about how full semi-automatic weapons are very dangerous. And I'm like, oh, wow, a general, you say? And he had absolutely no trigger discipline. Hold on. Like, this one is something that we can actually look at. Full semi-automatic CNN Let me see if I find this. Ah, here we go. This is a general. I wonder, they don't say where he is from, right? Like, you can be a general, in the Chair Force, which is the Air Force, right? The Chair Force. I mean, if you're a general in the Chair Force, maybe you don't get to fight, and you don't really use weapons and stuff. Like, maybe he can tell you a lot about an airplane, but he doesn't know jack shit about weapons like that. Maybe, I don't know. Look at this.
So this is the M4 military rifle.
Right.
Can you guys hear it? Let me see if you can hear it. Hold on.
This is the AR-15.
Right. A lot of people will buy this just because it's cool and they want to appear like soldiers.
Like, no statistics, no nothing. It's like a lot of people will buy it because it's cool. Like, how many? Who? And even if people want to buy it because it's cool, what's the problem? Like, you know, I would be actually more worried about someone that actually buys it with a purpose than someone that buys it because it's cool. Like, the person that buys it because it's cool, it's probably going to put it on a wall, or it's going to put it somewhere, and it's never going to touch it again unless he takes a selfie, right? Because it's cool. But, like, a person that actually wants to use it, well, that's the type of person that you should be worried about.
If you're a gun collector or a gun aficionado and you want an AR-15, you can certainly buy one, and you should be able to buy one. The problem is when it gets in the hands of the wrong people.
Originally,
I love his stance. I love that. Like, I have never fired a weapon, but I don't think this is the way you're supposed to
built for
hold
the
it.
battlefield, a defining characteristic of the AR-15 is the speed and power of the bullet.
Now those are single shots. If I wanted to fire this on full semi-automatic,
Full semi-automatic. We're going to see how he fires it on full Billy, watch this shit. You thought you know about guns, but this is a general. He's going to teach you how to fire it on full semi-automatic. Listen to this.
full semi-automatic, all I do is keep firing. Now I won't probably hit the target when I do.
I love this. I fucking love this. Okay, so he's at a gun range, right? And he is talking about how if he fires it on full semi-automatic, he won't hit shit. Isn't that meaning that the non-full semi-automatic is more dangerous? Like what is this? Like, oh, we need to ban the full semi-automatic. That's apparently less dangerous. Like, if I were to have someone firing at me, I would rather them fire with full semi-automatic because at least I can get away. At least they're a lot more inaccurate. Like, I have more chance of not getting fucking hit than if they go like bang, bang, bang. You know, like, sure, like, maybe I can run in zigzag if they fire on the non-full semi-automatic.
Do this when we look at the target later on, but I'm going to fire about 5 shots.
Okay.
5 shots, okay.
It's a weapon designed to inflict maximum damage.
It's a weapon designed to inflict maximum damage. What the fuck? It's not a bazooka, man. It's not a javelin missile. What the? This is not an RPG. Like, what do you mean it's a weapon designed to inflict maximum damage? How? Okay. What is a weapon designed to inflict medium damage then? Low, medium. Do the weapons come in like different colors? Like you have the white weapon, which is like the trash tier, and then you have green, and then you have blue, which is rare, and then you have purple, which is epic, and then you have the AR-15, which is orange. It's legendary quality, designed to inflict back. You know, like you can see a guy like firing a javelin missile at a tank, nothing happens, and then like some guy like move aside. He gets the AR-15, da 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 da, and the tank explodes like Michael Bay style. Wait. How many bullets did he hit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 17, 18, 19, 20, 25. So he had, like given the number of shots, I assume he used 2 cartridges. So that's like 60 bullets, and out of 60 bullets, he only... Oh, Dios mío. By the way, the guy comes on, but like there was more of the interview, and it shows him like holding his finger on the fucking trigger before firing. Like even I as a Romanian know that's not a good thing. Like you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to hold your finger on the trigger. But I think it's after this. It's not within this segment. He hit more than he fired? Oh, I see. Well, he doesn't have VATS. You need to install VATS to increase your accuracy. Oh my god. That's CNN, by the way. Cartridges, dude. I'm not talking like. Look, I don't know about guns. Like, I admit my limitations. I'm Romanian. I have no fucking idea about guns. It's not a cartridge. It's a clip. Okay. Mwah. All right. I'm not trying to like talk about a subject that I don't understand and ban it from people. Like, even with my limited knowledge on guns, I can look at CNN and I can say, yeah, you know, that they're spreading harmful and dangerous misinformation. Check this guy. He fired the BO. No, I'm not going to show like BO, unless it's something funny. Remember USA Today chainsaw bayonet? No, I don't. The 230-30 designed to reduce the weight of the ammo carry while you got the Americans talking now. Like, when the Americans start talking, it's like .223 designed to reduce the weight and ammo carry while penetration 300 yards, .3006. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Speak English. Holy shit. It's not an effing clip. What the fuck is it? So it's not a cartridge. It's not a clip. What do you call it? Hello, Zoomed. V's knowledge of guns is limited to working in the surplus ammo factory. Dude, my knowledge of guns is what I see by playing Call of Duty and what I see by playing Battlefield. That's my knowledge of guns, and it's still far superior than what CNN is promoting. Muzzle velocity, another term that I don't understand. It's like muzzle velocity. Does affect how much force is transferred to your target. You know, mass times speed. I learned this in high school. Mass times speed and all that jazz. Also, I want maximum damage influenced on targets such as predators after my ship, criminals, etc. Thank you for the $20, Field. I mean, obviously, like, it's a weapon. You're not supposed to use it unless it's a last resort. Right? Like, unless it's like a non-lethal weapon, which is, I suppose, like something with rubber bullets. A taser, right? Like, if it's designed not to kill, then yeah. But like, if it's a weapon, yeah, like that's what it does. It inflicts maximum fucking damage. It turns through tissue. Yeah, like the fact that CNN is discovering this is. Oh, and by the way, if you think this is bad, you should see the first weapons, the musket. Like, the musket left some really nasty ones as well. They had, like, this really round ball, right? Which, like, would crush balls and stuff. Ugh. At least with these types of bullets, you can be lucky and you can get an exit wound. So it's not inside you. Like, imagine a hot ball of lead getting lodged inside you and it stays there and it keeps burning. It's like, the sensation is probably very unpleasant. Not to mention, like, what soldiers used to do back in the day when the musket was a thing. They would use the latrine in order to poison the bullet. I'm not kidding. They would actually do that. I don't know how effective it was, though, because, like, when you think about it, when you fire the bullet, the heat is probably sterilizing the bullet anyway. But, like, they would actually use, like, the latrine, so the feces, the piss, right? Like, they would use that. The piss is sterile, but nonetheless. They would use it in order to cover the bullets in that, so that they would inflict, like, even the people that would survive, they would catch a fever and whatnot. I don't know how effective it was, but I knew that was a standard combat strategy. The sensation is probably very unpleasant. Good description, yes. Small and fast bullets versus big and slow. The thing with, like, if you think about the musket, so, yeah, the bullets were big and slow. I don't know if you could dodge them. Like, probably you couldn't. But, like, even if you could, you still had to stay in formation. So like, obviously you can dodge a weapon in the sense that if someone points it at you, before they pull the trigger, you can duck, right? So technically, like, I remember arguing with Arch about this. There was the RPG game in 40K, Rogue Trader, right? So in Rogue Trader, you could dodge last gun fire, and Arch said that's ridiculous, and he removed it. And I was like, no, it's not ridiculous. Like, you point the weapon at someone, right? You haven't pulled the trigger. and the person does evasive maneuvers. He runs a zigzag or shit, right? Like, technically you can dodge. But, like, what I'm saying is that in the situation of Napoleon Wars, right? Like, in those type of battles, where you literally have, like, a group of soldiers standing in front of another group of soldiers and taking turns at firing, which, in my opinion, I don't fucking know how they managed to cope with that shit. Like that is some morale draining stuff. Like, no, just imagine, right? So you go there, right? You have like your colonial line, and you aim at the enemy and you fire, and now the enemy gets to aim at you and they fire. You're literally a sitting duck. Like, there's no cover, there's nothing. It's an open field, and you're just doing that. It's just. So, yeah, you can't even dodge. You can't even run in zigzag. You're not dodging the bullet, Billy Odell, but you're trying to make sure that the other person isn't aiming at you. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if the person aims at you, right, you're trying to move away. You're ducking. You're making evasive maneuvers. And, yes, it can be successful. It's a lot better than being a sitting duck. Yeah, and by the way, the expression stands. Like, if you manage to, let's say, you get out of the way, and let's say there's a bullet that actually hit exactly where you stood, people get to say you dodged the bullet, right? Like, the expression is correct. If you duck, and in the second that you ducked, there's a bullet that went over your head, then yeah, you can say you dodged the bullet. Like, the expression is accurate. Technically, you're not dodging the bullets like in Matrix, but you're basically moving out of the way of fire. Like, the other person, you know, they shoot at you and you just took evasive maneuvers. Can you show us those evasive maneuvers again? No. Double tap W to dodge, yes. I would like to fire artillery at 0 elevation with grape shot at a group of enemy. Holy fucking shit. Man, like, you look at some of the thing is, you know, at least the weapons that are today, they're like a lot more effective to the point where most people get to die faster. Like, I'm looking at some of the weapons from back in the day, they look painful as hell. Like the grape shot. So you have like kind of like a shotgun blast, you know, that they would use on ships in order to take out the crew of the enemy ship. And the grape shot was kind of like this, like balls of iron. Like this, right? And they fire them from one ship to another. By the time they reach you, they do not have enough power to shred you to pieces, but they have enough power in order to make sure that it hurts like hell. And again, like, you have like these balls that are stuck into your body and they're still burning hot. The sensation is not pleasant. And I'm thinking like, oh, you know, at least we don't have that shit today. You must see the Beowulf full auto. Are you in love with the Beowulf? Like, did you give it a name? Are you sleeping with it? And you're like, this is my Beowulf? There are many others, but this one is mine? What is your obsession with the Beowulf? It's a nice gun. Okay, we went through the Beowulf. Thank you for the $2, by the way. I appreciate it. It is the Beowulf. The Punisher has a gun that shoots knives. You know, there was like a gun. Dave Chappelle was attacked by a guy like that, right? So Dave Chappelle was attacked by a guy which had a knife that looked like a gun. So it was a gun, but you would pull a knife out of it. And I was thinking, like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, what's the purpose of that? Why would you have a weapon that looks more dangerous than it is? Like, you would want the opposite. You would want a weapon that looks inconspicuous but is very dangerous, like a cane that turns into a sword. You know, that type of shit. If you could have a knife that turns into a gun, that would have been better. I'm fapping to Beowulf right now. It's glorious. Oh my god. I'm going to tell Arch. I think Beowulf is part of his mythos. Phosphorus rounds. Phosphorus rounds are yeah, like they're banned, I believe. The thing with phosphorus is that you can't put it out. So if it burns, like, you're fucked. Like, that shit burns underwater. And I believe it's like a very high temperature as well. It's so fucking gruesome. But yeah, like, back in the day, I think in Vietnam they would use it. Same with napalm. Like, napalm would stick. was sticky. So yeah. I remember Call of Duty did it. Like in Call of Duty Vanguard, they used white phosphorus on a bunker of Nazis, and I'm like, that's a war crime. That's fucked up. Yeah, but they're Nazis. Yeah, but it's a war crime. It's fucked up. Supposedly they have been used in Ukraine. By whom? I don't buy it. The fog of war in Ukraine makes it so that you don't know what went on there until the war is over. I don't believe they maybe they have. I don't know. Hello, Sharfado Talk. Sorry, Pippa. Beowulf is my new Osh. By the way, did you know that Pippa got the attention of, what's her name? Molly Calliope. Molly Calliope is one of the most renowned VTubers in the world from Hololive. She's got like 2 million, I believe, subscribers. And Pippa managed to get that attention. I was like, wow, congratulations, Rabbit. That's quite an achievement. Now, if the Rabbit apparently gets 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, she will show feet pictures. I want to see her fit pictures, not because I actually care, but because I know it would make her uncomfortable. And what makes Pippa uncomfortable makes me fucking happy. So hopefully she will get 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm going to infect all VTubers. I'm literally 3 degrees of separation between Gargura now. Because I know Pippa. Pippa apparently speaks with Mori Calliope. Now right, like, if she speaks with Molly Calliope, she's like 1 level of separation between Gargura. So that means that I am 2 levels of separation with Gargura. I got like, I'm separated by Pippa and I'm separated by Mori. But after that, that's how you fucking network, chat. That's how you do it. It's likely to happen next week. I know, Zenith. And the reason that I'm happy, like, first of all, I'm really happy for her. I know her since she was a 2View, and she could actually read the names of the people in her chat. Those were the days. And at the time, she was very low self-esteem. Didn't have confidence. Didn't really have that much confidence. And I told her, bitch, you're going to get more subs than me. And she didn't believe me. And I said, you're going to get 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. She laughed at me, chat. She said that no way. I saw the talent. I am the VTuber mogul, yes. I saw the talent. It was there. She was like Aladdin, the diamond in the rough. She could have gone into the cave of treasures, the cave of mysteries, or whatever the fuck was called. She could have gotten the genie. And I guarantee to you, she's going to get more subs than me. She's going to get probably not 1 million subs, but I think she's definitely going to get at least 500,000. She's going to be at least as big as It's a Gundam. Pippa read my name once, and she read it correctly, unlike Kibbs. Kibbs doesn't care, Katis. Kibbs does not care. I do care. The Cave of Wonder? Why the fuck do you know that? How old are you, Billy Odell? Why do you know about the Cave of Wonders that it's called the Cave of... I got a new member and I didn't read their name. Holy shit. I'm really sorry. I can see that someone subscribed as a new member, but it didn't pop out. So, I don't know. You're upset about the remake of Aladdin? I think that the remake of Aladdin is actually one of the most tolerable remakes. Unlike Pinocchio, where apparently it's an allegory for transgenderism. I'm not even making it up. Like that's what Pinocchio messages now, right? Like, at the end of the day, he doesn't even turn into a real boy because the message is like, it doesn't really matter. What matters is what it's inside. You know, if that little wooden doll believes that he's a little boy, then fucking hell, he is a little boy. And society oppresses him for not believing that. And then there's another thing. Like, you know, like Pinocchio gets, when he talks with, what was it? Like, Handsome Jack, right? He talks with Handsome Jack. What was that the name? The fox. I forgot it, the name. But whatever. When he talks with that fox, like, he decides to skip school. Right? So that's the moral of the original Pinocchio. It's like, children who are bad, who misbehave and break the rules, are going to face consequences, right? So, like, he should have stood in school. But instead, he chooses to skip school and he goes to Pleasure Island. Now, in the remake of Pinocchio, he doesn't skip school. He is kicked out of school because he is a wooden doll. Which means that the choice of staying in school is robbed from him, which means that going to Pleasure Island is not really Pinocchio's fault. Instead, it's society. Like, society is to blame. Because if society would have accepted that Pinocchio is a boy and wouldn't have kicked him out of school, he wouldn't have gotten with the bad crowd and got involved into Pleasure Island. So in other words, yes, like Pinocchio in the new adaptation, his choices don't matter. Like he wants to live a good life, but society keeps putting hurdles in front of him. Yeah. Socioeconomic factors, yes. V, Apple knows what stocks you are interested in insider trade. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not deleting the stream. I don't think so. But you know what? I can always ask for more money. It's like, look, if you pay me, I will not delete the stream. Give me a super chat. Holy shit, I'm starting a business now. If society just let Timmy play with guns, he wouldn't have done crimes. I don't understand how that would work, but okay. We live in a society. We do. I wonder who made this. Was it like the left constantly saying, it's like, we live in a society, therefore you should be okay with censorship and having your rights taken away? Like, I need to check where that meme started. We live in a society. Usually, it kind of sounds like that, right? We live in a society, therefore, you should have less rights. The government should take your rights away. The government should be more powerful because we live in a society. The animation in the new one is legit scary and not in a cool way. None of the Disney remakes are really good. Like, I can't think of any that I'm like, oh, wow, I really like this remake. Holy shit, it's so good. I mean, they don't even have romance in them. Like, none of the romances in the new Disney remakes actually clicks. Beauty and the Beast, for example. There's no romance there. Like, I don't feel it. Like, Belle is so fucking entitled, and she has resting bitch face the entire movie, that I generally don't feel a single spark there. There's no connection. Aladdin, like, maybe with Aladdin, you kind of get a little bit of romance. But, like, with Sleeping Beauty, they even removed the whole concept. It's like, oh, you know, like she was asleep, and she wasn't able to wake up unless she would get a true kiss. But there is no such thing as a true kiss, because there is no such thing as love between a man and woman. The only love is between two women. So when that witch kissed her, which cursed her to begin with, it's like when the witch kissed her, she wakes up. And now they're talking about how they're not going to focus on the relationship on true love between a man and a woman, right? And I'm thinking like, motherfucker, even if you tried to focus, you wouldn't get it right. You just don't understand it anymore. Like, Baby It's Cold Outside and James Bond and Han Solo, these are rape stories that for some fucking reason my mother used to like. Yeah, and my grandmother, you know, like the classics that you had all the women flocking to cinema and being happy with it. No, those are apparently rape stories. And they just don't create anything. Like, if you want to see a good romance, watch some fucking anime. Anime has romance. Even the degenerate redo of Healer has better romance stories than you can get from Hollywood. And that doesn't say anything about redo of Healer, because it's garbage when it comes to romance. But it still has a wider female audience watching redo of Healer. I can't name a single female content creator that I speak to on YouTube that hasn't watched redo of Healer. I can tell you many women that are on YouTube that haven't watched the latest Hollywood bullshit. Whatever that fucking is. Yeah, same with Frozen. Like, Frozen is like, oh my god, well, you can't have a man. It's like, watch old movies. Oh god, I don't really enjoy them. Yeah, it's Body Type 1 and Body Type 2 now. Like, I actually had, you know, like, I'm not kidding. The first time I saw Body Type 1 and Body Type 2, I was stunned. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what, Body Type? What the fuck? And then oh, man and woman. Oh, I see. Naruhodo. Anyway. Let's go to the Twitter. Twitter. Where is the Twitter? You know what? I'm going to go to Elon Musk. Elon Musk has the Twitter. Actually, literally, Elon Musk has the Twitter. I would say that Elon Musk owns the libs because he bought the Twitter, but he fired the libs. So now I can't even make that fucking joke. Such a shame. Anywho. Where's my chat? I keep missing stuff. I miss my chat. There we go. Why do you love Redo of Hero? You know what? I need to get a woman and ask her. It's like, okay, so Redo of Hero, why the fuck do you love it so much? Like, why can't you love My Hero Academia? Why can't you love Naruto? Why can't you love something awesome? You know, something wholesome. Why do you love Redo of Hero? What do you get? Such a... It's not that the story is fucked up, but like... The hero is too over fucking powered. There's no struggle there. He just gets to do shit. Anywho. Go buy a nice book on firearms and educate. Dude, who the fuck reads books? Like, this is another thing. It's like, oh my god, you don't read books. Dude, we got audiobooks. We got documentaries now. You hate Naruto? That's okay. Ask Aiden. Well, Aiden is not the how should I say? She doesn't own a poll on femininity. I would have to ask more than one person. I would have to ask like 10 or 15 and then be like, okay. Anywho. Oh, Juice is in the chat. We got, you know what? I'm going to give Juice a wrench. Oh shit, I gave the wrench to the wrong person. I'm going, you know what? You're lucky. You're lucky, old wrong person. You get a wrench as well. Anywho, the Twitter files. So, first of all, I haven't seen the mainstream media cover it. Did you notice that? Like, it's not on CNN. It's not on MSLSD. It's not on all of these places. But it's on Fox News. Now, with that out of the way, Billy, if you give me a super chat, I'll take your wrench away. With that out of the way, the media is upset on Twitter, right? So I have seen journalists from various outlets being upset. It's like, why did he give these files to Matt Taibbi? Because Matt Taibbi is from Substack. Doesn't work for a corporation. Like, why do you bypass the corporation? You should give these files to CNN. It's illegal for you to read these files, but for CNN it's different because they are the media. It's kind of like the church going, it's like, why did you give this, you know, the nail from the Jesus cross or the Holy Prepuce? Do you guys know about the Holy Prepuce? So the Holy Prepuce, allegedly, there were 4 of them at the same time. I'm not kidding. The Holy Prepuce, you know, when Jesus was born, he was Jewish, so he got circumcised. And that part of the penis, like, I'm not kidding, like, Google it, look it up, it's a thing. That part of the penis, like the circumcision, right, like that, it was called the Holy Prepuce. And many people claim they have it, and there were like 4 prepuces on at the same time. So it's kind of like, you know, like now, having access to the Holy Prepuce, and you're not giving it to the church. Instead, you're giving it to like some minor cult. You're giving it to the evangelicals or some shit. And now you have the Catholic Church sparking out. It's like, why did you give it to them? Why did you give it to the Mormons? You know, it's kind of the same with the mainstream media now. It's like, why did you give the files to Matt Taibbi? Why didn't you give it to CNN? The foreskin. Yes, the foreskin. It's called the prepuce. Okay, you need to use the technical language. What do you mean, ew? It's from Jesus Christ. You fucking heathen. There's no ew. It's holy. It's actually called the Holy Prepuce. Yes, it gives you +5 holy damage if you equip it. Like, I would make an RPG where you have, like, a spear, and you need to, like, wrap the prepuce around it, and then you can kill undead with it, because it's got magical holy energy. Todd Sullivan, thank you for the $10. And also, the hero is too OP. Meanwhile, Naruto has ninjas having a magic battle against the guy. Man, Naruto gets his ass whooped several fucking times. What are you talking about? Naruto gets beaten several fucking times. He's got bruises and shit. Sasuke loses an arm. He loses an arm, actually. Naruto loses a fucking arm. Shut the fuck up. Naruto is not OP compared to Rido of Healer. Naruto got beaten so many fucking times, I lost count. Anyway, Jesus. So, what you're about to read is the first installment in a series, based on thousands of internal documents obtained by Twitter. Apparently, tomorrow we're going to hear about Twitter's struggle with pedophilia. Now there's an interesting subject, isn't there? The Twitter files tell an incredible story from inside one of the world's largest and most influential social media platforms. It is a Frankenstein tale of human-built mechanism growth and out of the control of its designer. Twitter, in its conception, was a brilliant tool for enabling instant mass communication, making a true real-time global conversation possible for the first time. No, I disagree. It's not the first time. I mean, there were many other websites. I mean, hell, forum websites came before Twitter. But okay, you know, like, Twitter perfected it. Let's give it that. In an early conception, Twitter more than lived up to its mission statement, giving people the power to create and share ideas, information instantly without banners. I remember Jack Dorsey actually said this, right? This is why I never dissed Jack Dorsey. Like, anyone that goes back to my videos, you will notice that I was always nice to the man. Because I had the feeling that this is the type of thing where it's a corporation so large that he doesn't have control over it anymore. So, as you can see here, let me see if I can find the tweet. I don't have the tweet at hand, but basically he says that Twitter is for people to speak truth to power. If anyone has that tweet, give it to me and I'll post it. But it's an old tweet. And there was like the meme with Jack Dorsey. It's like, use Twitter to speak truth to power. And then it's like, use Twitter, post something there, and get fired 10 years later. Which, let's be honest, is pretty much what Twitter is used for. Getting people fired and out of a job. As time progressed, I love the demo squishy part of the story. Domo squishy. The company was slowly forced to add those barriers. Some of the first tools for controlling speech were designed to combat the likes of spam and financial fraudsters. Slowly over time, Twitter staff began to find more and more uses for these tools. Outsiders began petitioning the company to manipulate speech as well. First a little, then more often, then constantly. I would like to point out that... oh, you gave it to me in DMs. Hold on, I'll check. I would like to point out the fact that Microsoft is trying to do a similar thing now, which is quite dangerous to our democracy. I don't have anything in my DMs. Why did you? And what I mean by this is that there is a spam filter for people emails, right? So Microsoft is upset that you can write, like you can have an email list and you can send stuff to people via email and there is no censorship. Like right now, at least, overwhelmingly, if you write an email, you can put all the hate speech you want. You can do anything. There's no terms of service if you write an email to someone, right? And Microsoft doesn't like that shit. They don't enjoy it. So there is a system in place where if you have spam mails, they don't get sent out. So I know you have like a spam folder in your email. That's just like 10% of the spam that exists. But there are websites that are flagged as spam or flagged as malware, right? So if your website gets under that list, it gets blacklisted. And if you put it there in an email, it just doesn't get sent at all. Like, it doesn't arrive in the other person's mailbox. So you were thinking, it's like, oh, why can't we use that system to also filter hate speech websites? So like, if you want to put, I don't know, like a Breitbart article or something, the email doesn't get sent. Yeah, blacklisted email domains. Yes, absolutely. That's the thing. So much about how Jack Dorsey was not aware of what was going on, but he was alive then, so he saw what he saw. He could have stepped in, but didn't. Elon is protecting him. I don't think Elon is protecting him because, first of all, during Discovery, there was a lot of back and forth between him and Elon, which wasn't supposed to make it to the public, but did. And then we have, like, during the Matt Taibbi thing, where we're going to see that Jack Dorsey did try. The thing is, like, when you have, like, a large corporation the size of Twitter, usually the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. Like, this is quite common. Especially if you have the board, other investors to consider. Like, the CEO isn't all-powerful. Elon Musk is powerful now. Because Elon Musk doesn't have investors. Elon Musk doesn't have a board. Elon Musk can do whatever the fuck he wants, literally. Like, if he wants to put a giant penis on the intro of Twitter, he can do that. Like, he's not like Jack Dorsey. So, I do understand the predicament that Jack was in. So anyway, slowly over time, Twitter staff started censoring. By 2020, requests from connected actors to delete tweets were routine. One executive would write to another, more to review from Biden team. The reply would be handled. So I just want you to understand, like, it was so easy to launder censorship in 2020 that, like, they would just have, like, a person within Twitter, and it's like, okay, ban these accounts, and Twitter would be like, okay, we banned them. I have no reason not to believe that this isn't how Facebook operates or YouTube operates. I have literally no reason to believe that this is not the case on all social media. So now the government, right, they can't censor because the First Amendment, but they can launder the censorship to the private companies. Like, I do not think that the Founding Fathers envisioned that, okay, so we have free speech and freedom of the press, but we can have, like, the government telling the postal man to go through people's emails, to go through the people mail and make sure that he removes mails that are inconveniencing to the people in power. I don't think, like, when your grandparents were fighting in World War II and they were fighting for liberty and stuff, that they would be like, yeah, like the government, they should be able to ask the newspapers to ban stories, to just flat out cancel stories. I don't feel like you should be able to bypass the First Amendment like that. And even if you can legally, morally, it's outrageous. Celebrities and unknown alike could be removed or reviewed at the behest of a political party. So now the damage control is like, yeah, but like the Democrats weren't in power in 2020. Oh, so like basically they would be fine if I don't know, like Trump would use Elon Musk now and just ban political actors from the left, right? Like they would be fine with that. Because like, well, he's not in power, right? So fucking weird. And another thing, it's like, oh well, but it's fine because they didn't pressure. They just asked. It's like, motherfucker, when the government asks, you can't say no. Like, if you have a company and you know what's good for you, this is like a mobster, you know, like, let's say Don Corleone comes to your little mom and pop shop and goes like, you know what, I would like to set up a money laundering scheme in your store. I mean, that's blackmail, even if he doesn't implicitly say, oh, well, if you don't, or it's kind of like, it would be a shame if there was a fight. Like, no, that's blackmail. Check the Office of Censorship from the United States in World War II. Well, no, but like when you're in a wartime, like if it's a wartime scenario, there are a lot of rights that are suspended. And this is true for many nations around the world. Like, this is not something shocking that the US had the Office of Censorship in World War II. Like, that is normal. Most nations around the world, when in wartime, you do have like some rights suspended because it's your nation at risk. But those rights are well, allegedly, that they should be given away after war. It's extortion, my bad, yes. Yeah, I have a proposition that you would be a fool to refuse. And by the way, I remember when they actually did go after Twitter. And when Twitter wouldn't play ball, immediately, like, the government are like, oh, well, we don't like what Twitter is doing. Oh, well, the FTC and blah, blah, blah. Romania had its constitution suspended during World War. Man, many nations. Like, I don't know how many nations. Like, unless you're fighting with another country that's not able to stand up to you, like the US, you know, fighting in Iraq or something like that, where the difference in technology is so fucking staggering that, and obviously they're not going to fight on your home soil. And even if you lose the war, it's not that big of a deal, right? Like, when it's something like that, I understand, but like when it's an actual existential threat, right? So for example, Ukraine fighting with Russia, it's an existential threat for Ukraine. Of course they're going to suspend certain human rights. Like, I would expect that if Romania would go to war with any European country, some human rights would be suspended. Like, this is normal for the time period of the war. After the war, the rights should be given back. This is not even controversial. I think even the founding fathers would probably agree. Twitter stands for freedom of expression. We stand for speaking truth to power, and we stand for empowering dialogue. Yeah, that's what Jack Dorsey said. The US had its constitution suspended? I don't think so, man. I mean, the Supreme Court would not exist if the US Constitution was suspended. So, apparently, and this is something that I see a lot of leftists talking about, both parties had access to these tools. For instance, in 2020, requests from both the Trump White House and Biden campaign were received and honored. However, there are more leftists because they had more contacts and there was a lot more implicit bias at Twitter. So I'll address this in a bit, but as you can see here, 99.73% of the donations from the people at Twitter went for the Democrats, right? So it's not even, I mean, from 96% it went to 99.73, right? So almost every single fucking employee at Twitter was a Democrat donor. Well, the ones that donated, I mean. Now, are we back on? Reconnection success. I think my internet went down a little bit. So 99.73% of donations from people working at Twitter went to the Democrats. Like, the implicit bias is on fucking real. You know, the left says, oh, well, we can't have a police officer because he has implicit bias. Motherfucker, when you have like 99.73% of the people working at a company that are left-leaning, how the fuck can you say with a straight face that the company doesn't have an implicit bias? Right? Like, but the fact that Trump did it, I don't want anyone to fucking do it. Like, I don't want right-wingers or left-wingers to come into the public discourse. Like, oh, yeah, but like Trump did it. That's not a cell phone. Sorry, that's not an own. That's a cell phone. No, like, you shouldn't have any political actors deciding what I get to talk with my mother on social media. Sorry, not my mom, because she passed away. But you know what I mean. You don't need to have people that should be able to comment and say, well, you know, I disagree with that. Take it down. The CIA probably hacked my router, yes. The left is calling this a nothing burger. Of course, because everyone, like, the left already knew. You know, the left going, oh, my private company can do whatever. They fucking knew that it's unfair, but they liked it. You know, it's like, imagine you're playing a game of League, and there's this, you know, really skilled player on your team. Let's say, okay, you're playing League of Legends with your friends, right? Or Dota, or whatever the fuck you want. Call of Duty. And you have like a professional esport player in your fucking team. You know, you have Faker or whomever you want. So you have this guy, and he's just making the game completely unfun for the opponent. Like, your friends aren't having any fun at all, because you got like this really pro high skill player in your team. He's destroying the enemy team. Like, they don't have a chance. You don't have a problem with it. You're winning. You're happy, right? Like, you're going to shut the fuck up, you know? Like, just be quiet. What do you want me to say? You want me to kick him? Like, he didn't break any rules, blah, blah, blah. But if you were on the opposite team, oh, you'd be complaining. So this is pretty much how it is. You know, like the left, they enjoy the fact that they have their own propaganda machine with Twitter. And it was a propaganda machine because the things that were trending weren't the things that actually people were talking about. The stories that were banned were usually banned in order to promote the Democratic candidates. Now, I love the fact that they claim, oh, well, but it's like overwhelmingly right-wing sources were promoted. Yeah, but like in key moments, in key times, like for example, before an election, that's when they would tip the scale. So the resulting slant in content moderation decision is visible in the documents you're about to read. However, it's also the assessment of multiple current and former high-level executives. There was more throat clearing about the process, but let's jump forward. The Twitter file, part 1. Why Twitter blocked the Hunter Biden laptop story. Twitter took extraordinary steps to suppress the story, removing links and posting warnings that it may be unsafe. Then they blocked transmission via direct messages, a tool reserved for extreme cases like child pornography. I would like to remind you, and this is also true with BitChute, right? If you share a BitChute link on Twitter, it will tell you that the link may cause spam, that the link is spam or malware, right? So like what they want to do by this, I mean, this is so fucking smart, right? This is some high level of censorship shit. Like, if you send a link to BitChute to your mom, who let's say doesn't really know the internet that well, and she sees, oh, it's a virus, she's not going to open it. Not because, like, they don't say it's misinformation, they say it can be a virus. And they don't want, right? Like, they want to scare the user from clicking the fucking link. It's ridiculous, and it's so insidious. And this is what they did here. It's like if you were to DM the Hunter Biden laptop story, they would say it's malware. I mean, that's how nuclear they went with this. Yeah, for safety, of course. I mean, look, if people know about it, it's unsafe. For the Democrats, I guess, who are running an election. White House spokeswoman Kelly McKinney was locked out of her account for tweeting about the story, prompting a furious letter from Trump campaign staffer who ceded, at least pretend to care for the next 20 days. This led to public policy executive Carolyn Storm to send out a polite, what the fuck query. Several employees noted that there was tension between the communication and the policy team, who had little or less control over moderation and the safety trust team. Well, this is what I'm saying, right? Like, this is why I don't blame Jack Dorsey that much. When you have the HR empire built in your fucking company, this is what happens. Like, you actually have like a little civil war in the company where the communication team, and they don't have access to the moderation team, and they're at war with each other. Like, the communication team is like, what the fuck are you doing? Just please stop. And the moderation team is like, no, fuck you, we're not stopping. Strom note returned to the answer that the laptop story had been removed for violation of the company's hacked materials policy. The hacked material policy was also huge bullshit, right? So the hacked material policy came because of Hillary's hacked emails, right? So then you have social media, and you have them coming up with this in unison, Facebook, Google, and Twitter, and you can see that there is coordination behind the scenes. Like, it's so fucking obvious. And now we get to know that there was coordination behind the scenes. But, like, they would say, all right, so hacked emails, they're not good. And it's like, why? Why is it not good? Like, the idea that if you, like, so if a journalist, let's say, finds out information by trespassing, you know, like he trespasses, like a paparazzi, he trespasses but manages to get some information which is accurate. You're not allowed to share it with the public, even if it's in the public's interest. That's fucking surreal. Like, no one agrees with this standard. A lot of information and whistleblowing has been gotten through illegal means. Like, what do you want? Like, do you expect that people who commit bad things, they're going to just come up with the information and they're going to give it to you and it's going to be like, yeah, you know, so I have done a lot of bad dealings and there's a lot of corruption. Here, you can have my laptop and you can look at it. And it's kind of funny because that's literally what Hunter Biden did. Like, he went with the laptop to a repair shop. He left it at the repair shop overdue. So he forgot about it, and then the shop owner used the laptop and gave it to the media, right? So it's not hacked. It's not like even with this dumb fucking standard that it's hacked. And by the way, I love So first of all, the damage control, right? Like the number one damage control. There's still people that say it's fake news, even though now all the mainstream media and news outlets, they admit that is true. The other one is like, well, Hunter Biden wasn't running for presidency, and you're like, motherfucker, you've been trash talk. Like the media was trash talking Trump's children, his wife, everyone around him, right? But more importantly, the whole story with the Hunter Biden laptop. First of all, it makes Joe Biden look bad because, well, you're tough on crime. You're locking black people up for having pot, and your son is doing pot. I mean, that isn't that interesting? But more importantly, it was like the 10% for the big man scandal. You know, like that's why people are outraged. So, although several sources recall hearing about a general warning from federal law enforcement that some are about possible foreign hacks, there's no evidence. And even if there was a foreign hack, like who fucking cares? Like if the information is accurate and it's of public interest, by all means show it. Hello, Kai, I missed you. The decision was made at the highest levels of the company, but without the knowledge of the CEO, Jack Dorsey, and with the policy and trust Vijaya got. So Vijaya is that Indian lady which Jack Dorsey got to Tim Pool. It's almost like he got her in order for Tim Pool to go ham on her ass. You know, it's like, I'm not going to explain your fucking decision. You go and you explain it in front of the internet. And she did such a horrible job at explaining it. They just freelanced it is one of how the former employees characterized the decision. Hacking was the excuse. But within a few hours, pretty much everyone realized it wasn't going to hold. But no one had the guts to reverse it. You can see the confusion in the following lengthy exchange. And by the way, this is probably why Facebook didn't ban it, but Twitter did. It's due to the fact that, like Facebook, they didn't realize. So the FBI did pressure. And Facebook was like, okay, well, this isn't hacking. We can't ban it. But what Facebook did is that they suppressed it in the algorithm. So everyone knew it was fucked, said one of the employees. But the response was essentially to err on the side of continuing to err. The policy basis is hacked materials, though as we discussed, this is an emerging situation where the facts remain unclear. Given the severe risks here and the lessons of 2016, we're erring on the side of including a warning preventing the content from being amplified. What is the warning that will come up? When you click the link, you'll see the generic unsafe message, spam, malware, and violation of the Twitter rules. Not ideal, but it's the only thing we have. So like, this is literally the worst thing they had, right? Because like there were other ways of preventing it, but like they used the nuclear option. Whatever we do in the comms, it will become a bias claim for Jack pre-hearing immediately. Let's make it clear we're proactively but cautiously interpreting this through the lens of our hacked material policy. So in other words, like they knew that, okay, so Jack Dorsey is probably going to go to a Senate hearing, and he's going to get fucked over this decision, but that's his problem. This is how the employees were thinking about their CEO. It's like, yeah, sure, you know, like there is a hearing talking about the bias at Twitter, but we're going to do it anyway. Like, let Jack Dorsey handle it. Former Vice President of Global Comms Brandon Broerman asks, can we truthfully claim that this is part of the policy? To which former Deputy General Counsel said that caution is warranted. A fundamental problem with tech companies and content moderation, many people in charge of speech care little about speech and have to be told basically to outsiders to wit. Yeah, like literally, they don't care about free speech, so the solution is they can censor as much as they want. Like, they don't have to stop censoring. More censorship is always better than less. In one humorous exchange on day one, Democratic congressman suggested that she hops on the phone to talk about the backlash of speech. Gad replies quickly, immediately diving to the weeds of Twitter policy. Unaware, Kana is more worried about Bill of Rights. Khanna tries to reroute the conversation to the First Amendment, mention of which is journal hard to find in the files. Why do you have a problem with the Nord Stream? Europe is wealthy thanks to cheap energy. What is the alternative to cheap Russian gas? American LNG? Because Russia is a little bit expansionist. You know, they invaded Crimea. Nothing was done against it. And now they're invading Ukraine. The question is, do you think they will invade more or less, given their background? And now you can look at the history of Russia for the last, not even 100 years, but for the last 500 years, and you can realize that they're very uncomfortable neighbors to have. Taking gas from Russia is not a solution. Taking gas from Russia, especially when it's, because gas is like a national strategic resource, right? We're not talking about like taking lumber or something. No, we're taking gas. So this is like the most important resource that without which you can cripple a nation. So you're becoming a vassal state by taking gas from Russia. I don't fucking care if people have to burn coal in order to warm themselves. I'm not with Greta Thunberg and the environmentalism. I would rather buy coal from India than to get gas from Russia. There we fucking go. Hopefully I answered correctly. Have a cup of coffee. Take this, Spock. Where will Europe get its gas from? It already got gas. And it's still from Russia, but it's, by the way, it's laundered through India. It's not. The best solution is nuclear energy. More hydropower plants. Burning coal. I mean, there's a lot of... You can even buy liquid gas from the United States. There's more solutions than getting it from the Russians. Anywho, let's go back to this. Khanna tries to reroute the conversation to the First Amendment. Within a day, head of public policy Lauren Culberson received a ghastly letter report of the research firm NetChoice, which had already polled 12 members of Congress, 9 Republicans and 3 Democrats, from the House Judiciary. And I think this is it. Right, so, or is there more? Oh no, there's more? Hold on. Yeah, there's a little bit more. So NetChoice lets Twitter know about a bloodbath awaits in upcoming Hill hearings, with members saying it's a tipping point, complaining that tech has grown so big that they can't even regulate themselves, so government may need to intervene. In other words, what they're basically saying is that if the Republicans would have won the elections, they would have probably cracked down on Twitter. Szabo reports to Twitter that some Hill figures are characterized the laptop story as tech's Access Hollywood moment. Twitter continued that the First Amendment isn't absolute. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure if you were to put it... the First Amendment is indeed not absolute, but I'm pretty sure the First Amendment does cover the right of people to spread newspapers. And if you were to put it to a poll and see how many people agree with what Twitter has done, you would be shocked. I know even Democrats that aren't okay with this. Like, I know actual basic bitch Democrats that say, yeah, you know, this is not okay. Like, we don't really want newspapers that are legit and they're not posting misinformation. We don't want that to be censored. They said the same thing about phone companies. You can't spread newspapers in a crowded theater. Oh my god, I'm going to steal that. Holy shit, that is so fucking good. Sinister looking kid, that is so good. You can't spread newspapers in a crowded theater. Wow. that is a keeper. So anyway, right, tomorrow, the Twitter Files Part 2 is coming out. It's going to be about pedophilia. I don't know what they're going to be saying, but not good. I mean, if they have Twitter files about that, the only thing that I can say is not good. So we're going to see. In the meantime, I'm going to play Calypso Protocol. I just downloaded. Spent a lot of money for it as well. Frivolous spending, what can I say? My wife was very upset. It's like, why do I spend so much money on a video game? And I'm like, why do you spend so much money on shoes that you never wear? At least I play my fucking video game. And she didn't have a comeback. But she was upset. I'm not streaming it. I'm Jesus. I want to enjoy it. Do you think that anyone involved will go to jail? Absolutely fucking not. Like, first of all, it's not... So, unless the Supreme Court has a ruling, it's not illegal what they did. It's immoral. That's the main problem, right? Because like the various parties and politicians, they try to influence the media, but this seems a little bit more invasive because like the media, you know, they have their own program and they post whatever they want, and people understand that, right? But the difference here is that you get to use Twitter, right? And it impacts you personally. Like the government literally impacts your personal life. It's the same thing like them trying to control your phone or them trying to control your post. Like back in the day when you would send like letters or your SMSs or whatever, right? Like it's a lot more invasive into the life of the private individual, and that's why it's so problematic. You finished it? It's a good game? I don't know, I keep hearing like mixed reviews. I hope it's good, though. Actually, it's illegal because it's unreported campaign contribution. If you have a judge claiming it's illegal, I'm fine. Like, I don't know the exact laws of the United States. Surely using here's similar story, I guess. In Romania, the mayor of my city used the police in order to spy on his ex-girlfriend. Right? So, like, he had an ex-girlfriend. He thought that she's cheating on him. And I believe, like, she was spying on her in order to get a better divorce settlement. Ex-wife. Sorry, not ex-girlfriend. But he used the police resources in order to do it. Now, if the FBI is pressuring private companies in order to censor, and we know this because Zuckerberg said that Facebook was pressured to censor, is that not using taxpayer money in order to, you know, finance a political faction? I mean, maybe there can be that logic over there. You know, a similar one. Like, you're using taxpayer resources to do stuff that you should be paying out of your own cash. Like, it shouldn't be the FBI doing it. It should be the, I don't know, the Democrats spokesperson or whomever the fuck. And there is a big difference, right? Because, like, if a political party comes to you and says, okay, so we represent the Democrats and we want you to blah, 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 it's one thing. But when the FBI comes to you, well, that's a direct representative of the government force. And it is implied that if you don't listen to them, bad things can happen. Spying on an ex is cringe. Spying to get a better divorce deal is based. I don't know. I think they're both cringe. It's like, what? You know, because the thing is, like, the guy was so rich. He could have just hired a private investigator, but he was such a fucking cheapskate, because this is how he actually lost his seat. Right? Like, by using the police. I'm curious, like, what the police thought. You know, like you're a police officer, and you're supposed to handle crime and stuff. You know, like, you're supposed to catch bad guys, and you're stalking this woman that's a private citizen and did absolutely nothing wrong. Like what? Why though? like all your life choices led you to this. You're spying on this booby lady to see if she misbehaves or not. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you like this, and I will see you all in the comment section.